We are powered by our now. We are recharged with kindness, not being nice. We are renewed with bounce back resilience against burnout. We are parking here for the rest of the year. Bounce back from burnout. We're going to talk about it. And then we are propelled by our life's magnet, which is our spiritual gift. All right, jumping right into it. Listen, 2022 we're in the fourth quarter of 2022. We're turning the corner. And a lot of us, I need us to understand something. And I wasn't even going to come on to the podcast, but I got something that I want everybody to hop on. I got a free, let me just talk about it right here. I got a free webinar, how to beat burnout, how to bounce back from burnout. 5-way. I got a free webinar, October 31st, Halloween. And most of y'all might have some kids, but see, it's getting dark early. It's going to be 7 o'clock, October 31st. I need everybody to hop on because, and if in my bio, in fact, I'm going to post it here online. I want everybody to hop on. I need everybody to come on and sign up because we can't go into 2023 the same way we've been living in 2022 in a burnt out space. This is serious business. And if we think that if we keep going the way it is without making significant changes and recalibration and doing what we need to do to get to have a new outlook, a new perspective, a new system in place, we're going to find ourselves right back with the same burnt out to plateau to burnout to plateau to burnout to plateau space we've been in all of this year. And let's just keep it real. By this time of the year, a lot of us are tired. Now, we're human beings, okay? There's nothing wrong with being tired. But if you're burnt out, if that stress has mounted to an exponential rate, and you feel like you're gonna stumble to the Thanksgiving holiday, then you're gonna stumble to the Christmas and New Year holiday, and we're gonna stumble into the New Year, that's not how it's gonna work. Something has to give. Something has to change, okay? And if we don't, I'm just getting this link. Okay, boom. If we don't make any changes, what do we expect to change? That's the problem. We got to make sure we know that things need to change. We need to make an investment into ourselves, y'all. We must make an investment into ourselves so that 2023 will not be the same as 2020, 2021, 2022 in this burnt out space. Burnout is serious. It is real. It is serious. And the recuperation from burnout is worse than anything you could do to be proactive and fight against burnout. I'm telling you, the money, the time off work, the strained relationships, these things that we need to be proactive to fight against as opposed to reacting and climbing up out of the pit, picking ourselves up off the mat. This is what we need to shape. We need to make a deliberate change and shift in our attitude, in our mentality, in our tribe. Who's on your tribe? I heard Dr. Townsend at the American Association for Christian Counselors session. He said that we need to have a life team. Who's on our life team? Your tribe, your life team. We need to understand something going into the new year. If we have the same things going on and we're doing the exact same things, how can we expect different results? It's time to invest. And I know the holidays are coming. See, some of us invest more into gifts instead of into ourselves. And it's that temporary dopamine fix of getting a new gift and giving gifts, which are not bad, but I'm telling you, the best gift you could give yourself is the way to fight burnout that's coming. Some of us, let me get to it. Let me just jump in. I'm jumping in. Okay. But I need y'all to sign up. Go on to my bio, 5 ways to bounce back from burnout. We got to bounce back from burnout, y'all. Burnout is serious emotional and mental taxation that you don't just snap back, keep doing the same things you've been doing. You got to start putting some resources and being part of like-minded people and a tribe. What's up, Ben? I see you, bro. I can't overestimate it enough because this pandemic has exposed a lot of things. And I'm hoping that with that exposure of what's going on in our character, this is an uncomfortable truth, but burnout when we find ourselves in burnout, it's really a character flaw that we must address because we're not being responsible. We're not being responsible. We're not practicing a proper stewardship of ourselves if we allow ourselves to get into a burnt out space. And the problem is that we don't even know when it's coming. It's a slow boil. Burnout. It's the slow boil. We allow that stress to mount. Oh, let me get to it. Let me get to it. Number one, phases of burnout. Phases of burnout. How we get to the space where burnout is not only it exists, but it perpetuates itself over and over, year after year, quarter after quarter, month after month, week after week. Burnout. And some of us are so exhausted because we've been fighting to get back to some kind of normalcy from burnout, but then we fall. It's like we're stuck in a loop. We're stuck in some kind of time loop, in a burnout loop where we go from burnout, we're going down, plateau, and then we go down further, burnout, then we plateau again. And then, so every phase of burnout gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, but it's subtle. It's subtle. It's that slow boil that we don't realize, just like the crabs in a barrel. You don't realize, or crab in a pot. You don't realize that you're getting cooked from the end. You're getting cooked. It- I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of pressure in this world, and a lot of pressure in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, and there's a lot of stress. We have to be professional managers of ourselves and how we manage the external by dealing with and building up ourselves and filling ourselves, bounce back. Every ball that bounces has air in it. We have to make sure we are full so that when we do fall, when we find ourselves in a burnout season, that it doesn't last as long and our recovery is that much faster. That's what life is about. It's not about if we're going to get burnt out, but when we find ourselves in a burnout space, can we respond? Can we bounce back? Not only just bounce back and just kind of plateau again, but we bounce back with new energy, new understanding, new maturity, new confidence that we can respond and address these things with more confidence moving forward and more clarity moving forward. Oh, we should let burnout go to waste. Anyways, phase number one, honeymoon phase. What is this? Honeymoon phase is that part of, you start a new job, you get into a new relationship, you start a new business, you join a new nonprofit, you start a new ministry. That's the honeymoon phase. Everything, you're excited, you're focused, you have so many ideas. I'm an ideas person. And today gets off. I can't stop sharing ideas. I gotta share, and I just I go over and over, and I get one of my challenges is I struggle with focus. But I'm telling, that honeymoon phase is fun. We're excited. It's where we are, the adrenaline's flowing, the ideas are flowing, and we're like, man, we're gonna do this, y'all. We have new optimism. Man, everything is just like, everything is going great, and that's a good space to be in. There's nothing wrong with that honeymoon phase, but I'm telling you, it's a slow boil. Listen to me. It's a slow boil if we are not careful to manage our stress, which births burnout. It creates the space for burnout when we don't manage our stress. Okay, number two is the onset of stress phase. Okay, again, life is stressful, and our body knows, and our body is so wonderfully made, is that it has a built-in mechanism to address stressful situations, especially fight or flight, the amygdala, right? When we find ourselves in a dangerous situation where we need to react quickly, the body releases cortisol, and that cortisol gives us heightened awareness, and we are able to react and respond to get away from danger, get to safety. But what happens is, once we go past, when the body gets into that safe space, we can kind of acknowledge, okay, I'm in a safe space. Now my cortisol levels will lower, and I can go back to that normal space. But with stress and sustained chronic stress, which I'm gonna get to, that cortisol level goes up, it spikes, and then it stays up at an elevated rate. That neurochemical in the body that's released, and we're always on edge. And what happens with that is that the limbic system, that's the seat of the emotions in the brain, is inflamed. And what that does, when our limbic system is inflamed, because we allowed ourselves to be within the chronic stress phase, that it overwrites the prefrontal cortex. Thus, our normal rational thinking gets sabotaged and overwritten and kind of bogarted, right? Because we're not thinking clearly. And then, okay, so we stress. I'm telling y'all, unmanaged stress is killing people dead. Let me just keep it 100. I need us to understand. It's not. I'm not trying to make anybody afraid, but some of us have lived in this stressful state, and the cost of allowing stress to stay and linger and marinate and fester and poison our 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 mental, emotional, and physical state of being. It's going to get worse, and it's going to cost. Well, let's just think about dollars and cents, y'all. It's going to cost more after to respond to burnout as opposed to initially proactively fighting burnout. Okay, and this stressful is the onset of stress phase. That's part number two of stages of burnout. Number one is the honeymoon phase, where everything is going great. You're excited. You join something new. You start something new. New relationship. New position. New job. New house. New all these things. New. Awesome. Great. Fun. Exciting. Exhilarating. But then all of a sudden, that stress, it's an onset of stress, phase number two. Okay. I need us to understand something. Is that this is when the excitement dwindles, the energy and the ideas and all that stuff that's been flowing, it all of a sudden subsides now. Now we're at the onset of stress. And I'm reading here, there's a great article I found, is that we mentally and physically things start getting different, right? Uh, we're not as sharp, we're not as focused, right? And then physically, all of a sudden, we lose focus quickly. We become less productive. That's the onset of stress. I'm telling y'all, we need to understand stress. We need to understand stress. And we're going into the holiday season, Thanksgiving, traveling, family, Christmas, shopping, family, holidays. These things are stress just by default. And I'm telling us, if we don't have a plan of attack to address Thanksgiving, and see, this is why we got to start from now. We can't wait till November to December. Can't wait. This stress is going to jump on us, and it's by default. Okay, let me let the puppy come on, puppy. Um, listen. Okay, let me read it here. At this phase begins again. You take notice of physical and mental signs. You may start to lose focus easily, less productive, fatigue. You start getting fatigued. You get tired. Some of us we're in the fourth quarter of 2022. We're tired. We're fatigued. Our production levels starting to go down, and how we feel physically is starting to kind of beat. We kind of feel beat up, and that's part of life. We're human beings. We get tired, but we got to have systems in place to address this burnout space and feeling that we have. Systems that we can replicate over and over. And I've been thinking about this analogy. I love sports. Okay, the puppy went away. I love sports analogies, y'all. And what happens with sports analogies is that a team needs to learn how to win a game, the game that's on the schedule, the next game, the game they're playing, right? Then every good coach has a system, a philosophy, a game plan in which to not only win tonight's game, you make tweaks and adjustments based on the opponent, but now based on the team, the skill set, the personnel, etc. Now we develop a game plan for how we're going to win consistently. This is why we need systems, not just on the court, but off the court. This is, systems. That's how success is built. Systems, not one-offs, not just winning one game, but it's a system. Golden State, they have a system of winning. And before, New England, I don't love them, but hey, they had a system. Tom Brady and Belichick, they had a system on how to win, and then how to win exponentially, how to duplicate winning. We need a system to manage and fight stress and burnout. Number three. So we got number one, honeymoon. We're excited. Number two, we start getting tired. Onset of stress. Okay, now, chronic. What does chronic mean? Is that it's sustained. Remember, I told you how the body responds to cortisol. In a stressful situation, our We need to be alert and more kind of, jazzed up and kind of where, boom, 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 what's going on? How can I get away? How can I be safe? Right? That's that fight or flight space. The body releases the neurochemical cortisol. Then when we're safe, the cortisol level goes back to normal and we kind of go back to our normal state and where we are. But with chronic, again, the cortisol level spikes and it stays there. Chronic stress. Okay. And it says this phase is when pressure bust pipes, pressure. We feel it external pressure. We feel it. It's weighing on us. It's weighing us down. It's weighing on us. Then we start getting becoming late for work. Then we don't want to do anything at work. We procrastinate. See, we think it's just, oh, I'm lazy. No, you're stressed. You might just be really stressed, and you've allowed that stressful situation, that stressful space at work where you don't speak on it. You're see again, intro power. This is where we struggle, is that we don't speak on the challenges that we have. We don't address them, so we sweep them under the rug. I'm fine, fearful, insecure, neurotic, emotional. We keep saying I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm good. Fearful, you're not fine. You're fearful, insecure, neurotic, emotional, and we're passive, and we're playing defense instead of playing offense by having uncomfortable conversations. Again, part of the system. We all need it, right? I keep putting my shirt. Either way, socially, we withdraw. So work production level goes way down. We're starting to be a bad employee, right? Bad boss. We're coming late, and the things we're responsible for, we're slipping. We don't want to do certain things. This is the chronic phase. We didn't get to the burnout phase, y'all. Again, we have to understand where we are. So the further down we go, let me just say this, that's the quicker we need to respond. The quicker. Okay? Listen to me. That's why we need to go through these phases and understand where we are. So number 3, post the street. Yep, I'm gonna post it later. Don't worry about it. Again, socially we withdraw. Let's see. Oh, see, okay. See, chronic stress at work eventually invades the house, invades the relationships with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends, with your family. That stress at work, that chronic that you leave linger and it goes to a heightened level, your job performance is down the drain. Eventually it spills right out from you onto your family, and it usually affects the people closest to us. That's why we gotta address this thing. And let me just play a little commercial here. Thanksgiving and Christmas, maybe we need to scale it back this year. You know who you are, and you know that you're in a stressful space, and you know that you need to rest and recalibrate and readjust and hit the reset button. But you say, oh, and then see, this is the people pleasing, and we fawn. There's a thing called fawning in counseling, where we fawn and we just kind of go and we just kind of fall back like a turtle on our shell, and we just kind of let things happen to us. This is a problem. Maybe this year we need to tell the family, hey, we're not traveling. I don't know what it is. You know what it is that's caused you stress. As every day gets closer to Thanksgiving and Christmas, we know already, intro powered, that we know that there's going to be a stressful situation coming up. We know, but we don't have the courage to say, you know what? I don't want to be in this space again, and I need to address it. I need to speak up, right? I need to say, you know what? Maybe family, we financially we got way in there over our heads this year. Ain't no 5 gifts this year, maybe 2, maybe. We got to scale back and let's do something fun that's less expensive, but we can still do something as a family. We can share gifts, but all this over and beyond and staying in lines for buying gifts and dealing with traffic and holiday shoppers, bring that down. And see, we're stressed thinking about it. That's how we need to have some systems in place, have those courageous conversations, because this chronic stress, if it's left unmanaged, does not go anywhere, and it manifests itself physically. Headaches. See, now we get into the burnout. Phase number 4. We just got one more, and I'm gonna end quick tonight. We're not gonna be on our night. This phase, the burnout phase, which I've been on, I need us to understand something. Okay. Um, yeah, thank you, bro. Burnout. This is the phase number four. Okay. Honeymoon, onset of stress, chronic stress. Now we're in burnout. See, what happens is that these first three are all external. Okay. Even though it might manifest itself physically, stay with me. Is that those are the things that we can't uh, 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 they're we're impacted by external situations and people and car traffic, family. Those are external. But now we're on the burnout phase. This is what happens internally. Okay, is that you reach your limit and you could no normally function as you would. You reach your limit. See, another definition of burnout is when I always say it wrong, but basically you expend energy past your resources. You perform tasks past your energy level. You went past the limit and now you're here. Now you're stuck. Now you can literally not do anything else. You shut down, especially emotionally and mentally. Okay. And it says the problem is that you feel numb. It's not that you're stressed anymore. Now you don't even know that you don't feel anything. You disconnect yourself from other people. You go into these vegetative states and these binge watching escapades. We just go in the whole season. Some of us go 2, 3 seasons. As soon as we get home from work, we binging, because that's chronic stress that's been left unmanaged. Now we're in burnout. That's the official definition. Chronic stress unmanaged, burnout. Now we're here. We're binging like crazy. Then now the physical issues are self doubt. We are doubting every decision. We have no confidence. We just feel like we're making poor decision after poor decision. Listen to me very closely. Stomach issues, can't sleep, headaches. This is real. This is and the World Health Organization finally identified burnout as a syndrome. It wasn't before, but now it's on par with depression and anxiety. We got to be careful about this burnout space because that it affects us emotionally. That not that you are mad and frustrated, now you don't even have enough mental bandwidth in which to even get mad and angry. You're so burnt out, you have nothing. The wick on the candle is all. Y'all ever see those candles? You pick up the candle, you try to start it, and but the wick is gone. That's where you're burnt out because then you disconnect, and then I like for me, when was that? A couple like maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, I was burnt out, and I crashed my own car with nobody around. Crashed it right into the lamppost. I'm trying to go home, but again, I went past my energy level and my mental and emotional and physical bandwidth without the resources, without filling the tank. I was running out fumes past the gas gauge. Y'all know how y'all are. Some of y'all run that car way past the gas gauge. The level is way past E, but you said I'm going anyways. But eventually you stop. So eventually I couldn't. I was so burnt out I couldn't navigate my car effectively, and I went into the default kind of deep disconnected, defaulted, not thinking mode, and I turned too sharp. $2,500 of damage later. I said, I'm burnt out. I need to take some time off. We're gonna talk about we see burnout is so significant. Is that once you get to this phase, it might see when you get to the chronic stress and the onset of stress, that's when you need to take some time off and disconnect, kind of recalibrate. But if you get to this burnout phase, we got to add more resources, more things to address it because it's gone past where that day or two or week off is going to resolve it because that's more emotional and mental. Our tank is completely empty. And some of us still choose to give out of a burnt out space. Thus, we get to here. Phase number 5 is habitual burnout phase, like I was talking about. Burnout, plateau. Burnout, plateau. Burnout, plateau. You can almost plan your calendar around these phases of burnout. Again, the phases of burnout get from bad to worse to terrible to awful to just sickening. the level of burnout you're at. And what does it say here? If left untreated, burnout can become part of your everyday life and eventually lead to anxiety and depression. See, it starts with anxiety and depression, y'all. I'm telling you, it's the precursor. Burnout is the precursor to anxiety and depression. And if we're not wise and careful, it will jump on us. And then see chronic mental and physical fatigue. Then we might, they might, then you right on the edge. Oh, I'll say is okay. He's coming late to work. His job performance is in the toilet. He's forgetting simple tasks. He's irritable and fussing and cussing with his coworkers. I work in a school with the children. And your customers who you might be on customer service. You're dealing with the patients. Whatever you're doing, you're dealing with your other manager, CEO. You're fussing and cussing. You're irritable. You're nasty to be around. You're rude. But it's become habitual. It's become habitual. Your whole year is based on trying to recover from burnout, but then you plateau, you think everything's fine, but you find yourself burnt out again. That's when people get into addictive behaviors. That's when people, um, you know, say and do things they would never do because they're burnt out. But it's become chronic because it's become habitual, part of your life. You think, oh, I'm supposed to be a dead dog, exhausted. I'm supposed to be, oh, that's just who I am. I'm an irritable, angry person. No, you're burnt out and we need to address it. These are the phases: honeymoon, onset of stress, burnout, chronic, burnout, habitual. The last each phase number 5 of burnout is habitual burnout. All right, y'all. I promise I wouldn't go past 30 minutes. Here comes the dog again. Um, we need to address our burnout. We need to know the signals, the warning signs coming, so we can fight it and be able to not only fight it off, but when we feel it, when we're experiencing it, we can bounce back quicker because we've gained the knowledge. And I'm glad I wasn't going to do this podcast, but I'm glad I did it. But I'm inviting everybody as I close here. October 31st, Halloween night, 7 o'clock. How to beat burnout, how to bounce back, forgive me, how to bounce back from burnout. We're going to break that down. We got a webinar, an interactive webinar workshop. I like that. I love doing webinars and I love teaching and I love coaching. And I'm going to coach us up because I know I've been there and I'm telling this, if we don't put a system in place, and I got a system I want to share with you all that I want to make an offer to invite you guys to be part of this community. This is the real deal. If you're not part of community, we recover best in community. It's in community where we grow. It's in community where we heal. It's in community where we go to the next level. Being around like-minded people in community. So I'm inviting you to be part of that. Man, I can't wait till till the 31st to share with you guys. And then I'm going to invite you guys to something awesome to invest in you. Financially investing in you so that you could become a different version of yourself, the new upgraded version of yourself in 2023. All right, you guys have a great night. And remember, nice people do finish last, but kind ones rise to the top and are sustained there. Let's go.